If you've ever wondered what changes when you heal your nervous system, this episode is going to show you what it looks like in real life. Welcome back to the Broken and Brave podcast. I want to walk you behind the scenes a little bit today because nervous system regulation has become one of those phrases that people hear all the time. And if you've been listening to this podcast, you've heard me say the place to start with overcoming anxiety and panic attacks is in your body by recalibrating your nervous system. But no one usually explains what actually changes for you. And if you're anything like most of the people that I work with, you're not just looking to understand anxiety better, you want to know what would actually be different for me. How would my life feel different? What would I stop struggling with? So that's what I'm going to dive into today. What actually shifts when your nervous system recalibrates. When I talk about nervous system recalibration, I'm talking about the changes that are made in your body's default response. Right now, if anxiety has been your experience, your system has likely a lower threshold in terms of what comes to danger and what it considers danger, meaning it reacts quickly. It reacts strongly, and sometimes, or perhaps oftentimes, it reacts when nothing is actually wrong. Recalibration is about raising that threshold and changing that sensitivity setting so that you're not reacting to something that is not actually dangerous, so that your body no longer treats everything like a threat. And when your nervous system changes, it's not just your anxiety that shifts, it's how you experience your entire life. Let's dive into shift number one. Your baseline changes. One of the first thing that changes is your baseline, meaning instead of feeling on edge and tense and mentally busy or just having that slightly unsettled feeling, you start to feel neutral, calm, like the edge is taken off. And I want to pause here because for a lot of people that might sound boring, but if you've been living in anxiety, neutral feels like peace. And it can feel like your body is finally taking an exhale without needing a reason. Shift number two, your body stops overreacting. Right now, your body might react to things like a thought or a sensation or a what if or a memory as if it's dangerous. But when your nervous system recalibrates, your body starts to recognize this isn't actually a threat. So instead of a spike or going into a spiral or having a full body reaction, you might just notice it and then move on. Shift number three, your previous triggers lose their intensity. So things that used to feel triggering don't hit the same way anymore. It's not that life becomes perfect because you know, and I know that life is still going to life. It's that your reaction changes. Situations that used to create panic in you or overwhelm or shut down or make you want to run away, they start to feel more manageable, more tolerable, and eventually neutral. Shift number four, you stop fearing your body. This is a big one. When your nervous system is dysregulated, your body can feel unpredictable, and oftentimes it feels like you are not on the same team. Like, what if my heart starts racing? What if I feel dizzy? What if I can't calm down? So you start to fear the sensations themselves, but when your nervous system recalibrates, your body starts to feel like a safe place again, like it used to. Instead of being something that you have to monitor or manage or tense up about, those sensations, I'm not going to lie to you, they might occasionally still happen because you're human, but they don't mean the same thing anymore, and they're not felt and perceived as a threat anymore. Shift number five, your mind quiets down without forcing it. A lot of people, they try to stop overthinking by managing their thoughts and controlling. But when your body feels unsafe, your mind has to stay active. It's trying to protect you. So when your nervous system shifts, your mind doesn't have to work so hard and it naturally gets to be quieter because your body is no longer needing constant monitoring. Shift number 6, you respond instead of react. And this is where change starts to happen in your life because instead of reacting automatically, you create space between a previous trigger and your response, a thought and your reaction, space between an emotion and what you do next. And in that space, you get your choice back and you get to actually feel the control that you've probably been grasping for up until this point. Shift number 7, your emotional tolerance expands. So before, certain emotions might have felt like too much. Maybe you avoided them to a large extent. So your system would distract, suppress, try to avoid. But after recalibration, you can actually feel emotions without being overwhelmed by them. And this is where real healing happens. Shift number 8, your sensitivity setting lowers. I mentioned this earlier, and I often described anxiety like your system's sensitivity setting is turned way up. So everything feels louder, stronger, more intense, and recalibration lowers that setting. So things that used to feel like, let's say, a 9 out of 10 start to feel at first like a 6, and then like a 3 and lower. And life feels more manageable, more grounded, and less overwhelming. Shift number 9, your body creates safety internally. Instead of constantly looking outside of yourself for what can make me feel safe or what doesn't make me feel safe, your body starts to generate it from within. So you're not constantly looking outside of yourself to feel safe inside. We want to make that switch. And of course, that changes everything because you get to control your own safety. And you don't need constant reassurance, perfect conditions, or control over everything to feel okay. Shift number 10, you start trusting yourself again. And this is a deep shift. When your nervous system changes, you start to trust your body, you start to trust your reactions, and you start to trust your ability to handle life. And this is what anxiety takes from people. So this is what healing gives back. And I want to give you just a little bit of context because this doesn't happen by accident. It happens through a very intentional process that works directly with your nervous system to change how your body responds at a foundational level. The nervous system recalibration protocol that I use with my clients is 10 weeks long. And inside of the work that I do, we're not just talking about anxiety, we are working with the body so that your system can actually learn a new baseline where it feels safer, it responds differently, and it recalibrates over those weeks and beyond. Now, it's the same process that I've used to help clients eliminate daily anxiety, feel safe in their bodies again, improve sleep, and even get off anxiety medication, of course, with the support of their psychiatrist. So if you're listening and you're thinking, this is what I want, this sounds different than what I've done before, and I want to give it a shot, I don't want to just understand anxiety or try the typical approaches that I've been trying, but I want to start with the body. It's great news because this week I am hosting the Anxiety Relief Experience live online, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what's keeping anxiety in place, why your body keeps responding this way, and what you need to do to break the cycle. Recalibrating your nervous system isn't about becoming a different person at all. It's about returning to the version of you that doesn't feel like everything is a threat. And of course, when that shifts, everything shifts with it. You can register today by clicking the link in the show notes or by going to www.brave-method.com/anxiety-relief-experience. Again, www.brave-method.com/anxiety-relief-experience, or click the link in the show notes. This is one that you do not want to miss. I'll see you there.